Hi children, today we are going to study about structure of matter, unit 3. Now let's see first what is matter. Now if you take all the things in the world, you can divide them as which occupies space and has mass, and which do not occupy space and doesn't have mass. Now the things which occupy space and has mass could be known as matter, and the things which do not have space and do not have mass is known as energy. So in this section we are going to learn only about matter. Now let's further classify matter. Matter could be divided as pure substance and mixtures. Now you know that pure substance are substances that are made up of only one particle, and mixtures are made up of more than two particles. If you take pure substance, you could divide them as elements and compounds. Now let's see what is an element. Element is a substance that cannot be broken down into any other substance. So you know every element is made up of its own atom. If you take compounds, compound is composed of two or more elements. Now examples for elements are hydrogen, helium and boron. If you take compounds, you know that it is made up of two or more elements. Now for example, carbon dioxide, you have carbon and oxygen. If you take water, you have hydrogen and oxygen. Next, let's take mixtures. If you divide mixtures, you can divide into two. That is homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous. Now what is homogeneous? Homogeneous mixture is a mixture in which the composition is uniform throughout the mixture. At any point, the composition will not change. It is uniform. So that's why we say homo means it's the same. If you take heterogeneous mixture, like any mixture in heterogeneous, it's not uniform in composition. At any point, it could change. So hetero means different. So this is the definition for homogeneous and heterogeneous mixtures. Now let's see the states of matter. Now this already you would have studied in your previous grades. Now the states of matter is, we can divide it into three. That is solid, liquid and gas. Now you know that solid particles cannot move freely and they are tightly packed. So it has a definite shape and a definite volume. If you take liquid, the particles are loosely packed. They can move freely. So they take the shape of the container. So it doesn't have a definite shape, but it has a definite volume. If you take gas, it freely moves. So it doesn't have a definite shape. It doesn't have a definite volume. So this is the states of matter. Now we can change the state of matter by two. That is temperature and pressure. By increasing or decreasing of the temperature and pressure, we could change the states of matter. Now for example, let's take the ice cube, water and water vapor. You know, ice cube is the state of solid, water is the state of liquid, water vapor is the state of gas. Now here, when you increase the temperature of the ice cube, it starts to melt. When it melts, it turns into water. And here, when you increase the temperature of water, it starts to boil. So here it changes into water vapor. Now here you can see gradually the solid changes into liquid and liquid changes into gas. So the melting point of ice is 0 degrees Celsius and the boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. The same way, when you decrease the pressure of water vapor, it changes into water, and again when you decrease the pressure, it changes into ice cube. So this is a small example where you can change the state of matter. Now let's see about atom and subatomic particles. Now a Greek philosopher called Democritus brought up the concept of atoms. Now he has given a very simple example as you have to take a piece of paper and tear it into small pieces. You will get a point where you can't tear it further. This point is called as atom. So any particle which cannot be further divided is known as atom. So atoms are the building units of matter. The atom is composed of subatomic particles. Among them, you know that we have protons, electrons and neutrons. These are the main subatomic particles. The electron is a negatively charged particle and the proton is a positively charged particle, while the neutrons have no charge, so they are neutral. Okay, now let's see about the structure of atom. The planetary model of the atom was introduced by Ernest Rutherford. So Rutherford said that the protons are in the middle called the nucleus. Now if you see the picture, you will know the blue color circle is called the nucleus, which is in the middle. And the electrons are scattered and rotating around the nucleus, the red dots. Now according to Rutherford, he says that 97 to 98% of the atom was empty space. That is the pink color section which is being marked in the picture. So Niels Bohr, who further elaborated Rutherford's model, stated that the electrons move in definite paths or shells around the positively charged nucleus. Now if you take Bohr's atomic power, you could see the nucleus in the middle and you have 3 to 4 circles around it. So these circles are only known as shells, or they call it as a definite path. Now in every shell you could see there are electrons marked as blue. So these electrons travel in a definite path around the nucleus. The protons and neutrons are in the middle of the nucleus. They are in the nucleus. The electrons are scattered around the nucleus, as I told you earlier. So the shells in which the electrons revolve around the nucleus are assigned either in numbers. You can mention as 1, 2, 3, 4 or letters as K, L, M, N respectively, starting from the nearest to the nucleus. So I hope you would have understood this section which we studied about matter, states of matter, how we could increase the temperature or decrease the temperature and change the states of matter, and then the atomic and subatomic particles and the structure of the atom. So this is the part 1 section of the unit structure of matter. Hope you would understand.